See, I already knew that there was something wrong. Because I've been looking for a second job. The motherfuckers, they'll pull you all the way into the interview just not to hire you if you're black. If you're of color, I'm telling you, if you think you're not being hired, you're not being hired. It's going on everywhere, no matter where you at. If you are looking for a job or a second job, such as myself, they may give you the interview, but they're not gonna hire you. And even furthermore, there's been facts that 6.1% of black women have lost their job. So, we gotta try to find a way to make income on our own, because these jobs really ain't trying to hire us. I literally been on 8 fucking interviews within the last 2 months and ain't got one job. So I'm telling y'all, if you feel like they're not hiring you, bro, I feel the same way, bro. If you out here looking for like a second job, they not trying to hire. They not trying to hire no colors as much as possible. They'll give you the job interview they'll give you the job interview all day, but they ain't gonna hire you, bro.
People always ask me, Karen, do you like what you do? And the answer is always yes. Why? Because accountability is a beautiful thing. Take, for example, Deontay's situation. And just a quick little recap.
So my co-worker sent me a text meant for someone in HR. He said don't hire any more blacks.
But boy, do people like to backpedal. I'm talking to you, Armada Towing. Now, Armada Towing releases a statement on Facebook saying that they became aware of text messages accidentally sent from one employee to another that contained racially offensive language. And then that the message was sent to a black employee, included text that said, don't hire any more blacks and they don't matter. Ultimately, the employee that sent the message was fired. Now, I find this interesting because, well, y'all didn't have that energy earlier when the incident took place. In fact, you didn't have that energy until my video came out. Let me show you some proof. Now, I found it interesting that someone, Elizabeth Arma, said that HR did offer to send the other employee to training classes and suspend him without pay. Now, the people who would have that information are the same people who were in that room with Deontay and told him that it didn't matter what happened and that the suspension without pay was good enough. Now, with Auntie being an HR person and having an HR degree, you know Auntie knows not to mention certain information so people can trap themselves. I also want to point out that this apology was not meant for Deontay. This apology was meant for the public, was meant for us. Because you see, they never called Deontay. Trust me, I know, I spoke to him. And they released this apology because they're tired of us calling and they're tired of us trying to hold them accountable. You see, you guys didn't care about the racist incident. In fact, you tried to hide it. And now you're trying to act as though you just recently became aware and you guys are on top of it and everyone's getting discrimination training. Nah, y'all didn't care. And now that Deontay has some backing behind him, now you guys want to try to make it seem like it's a big deal. But it wasn't before. We stand with Deontay, and Nick in HR needs to be fired too, because I'm willing to bet as a fellow HR person that there's some text messages that Nick has on his phone.
Not only are they firing black people first, they're also not hiring black people. So start marking white and start using your middle name. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they try to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
I just want you to know, as a white woman on a liberation journey, I cannot put the labor of black people to educate me on my anti-racist journey. Who told you that? What? I went to my local white affinity group meeting. They told me to not put labor on you because it's just I just can't. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. So the whole idea is not to put the labor on black folk who do not lead liberation, anti-oppression, anti-racism work. If it is your black friend, your black neighbor, no, don't talk to them about that unless they decide they want to talk about it. But if it's a teacher, a liberation teacher, an author who is choosing to do this work, run, go to them. That is your first line of knowing you're getting lived experience, you're getting value, and you're actually getting the truth from the real source. Right, so you're telling me as long as the black person gives me consent, or they're a coach or a teacher, I can do this work with them? Hell, I can't wait to go to my group and tell them what you just said. What has happened is that whiteness has colonized the black liberation movement, has guised it in ways that makes it comfortable and palatable for you. It's a deeper invitation to sit at the feet of black folks to work on your relationship with anti-blackness.
Something disturbing I've heard from black women over and over again is how much white women at work feel this mandate that the black women be their friends. That's insane. Like, one of y'all has commented on my videos that your boss makes you hang out with her outside of work because she complained that you weren't a team player. And I've heard about stuff like this in my research. Like, I shit you not, one research participant told me about her white coworker. She was an engineer, so she was a racial and gender minority in her workplace. One of her coworkers, like, really wanting to know where she lived. Like, they were all up in her business. And I shit you not, as I was writing that chapter, I was at a local writing group in DC, and I was chatting with a black woman who was there, and I didn't really know her that well. We were just both in the writing group, and she didn't know what I was writing, and she was telling me about how, like, ongoing in her life right now, someone was following her home from work just to know where she lives. Like, knocking on her door and being like, "You live here?" And she was like, "Yes." And she was telling it, like, laughing, and I was, like, horrified. The obligation that some people feel to these women's bodies is revolting.
We don't hire many black people. An interviewer literally told me this. And you use their products every day and can probably tell they don't hire many diverse people. But I wasn't sure whether to be upset or not when they told me this. So I'm in the final round interview for a big tech company. And the final question I get from my interviewer is, "Hey, we don't hire many diverse people here. Would that be a problem for you?" And just like you watching the video, overcoming racism shouldn't be a job responsibility or shouldn't be in a job role. But I'm out here to get a bag. So I tell them no. I basically said I've worked in similar environments and it's not a problem for me. But when I told my friends this, they were livid. That interviewer was trying to scare you away, is what all my friends told me. Since I was doing a good job in the interview, my friends thought this was a scare tactic for him to convince me to not take the job in the case that I got it. And when I told other family members, they said the same thing. But the guy who asked me this was a person of color, so I just thought he was trying to look out. I didn't think anything of it. So was he trying to scare me away? Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and follow for more content.
Brothers and sisters, today I want us to have a conversation that might make some uncomfortable, but it's a truth that cannot be hidden. For centuries, black people have fought, marched, and sacrificed for equality. Yet they still face the reality that many white people are not truly ready to work with them, share power, recognize them as equals, and dismantle the systems that benefit them, while keeping black people at the bottom. We must remember history did not start yesterday. For over 400 years, systems were built on slavery, segregation, colonization, and discrimination. These systems were not designed to include black people as partners, but to use them as labor, tools, and as the backbone of wealth creation for others. Even when laws changed after abolition, civil rights movement, and the end of Jim Crow, the mindset of exclusion did not simply vanish. Many white people still see black participation as a threat rather than an opportunity. Look at the corporate world in America, in Europe, even in Africa, where colonial structures remain. Decision-making tables are still overwhelmingly white. When diversity programs are introduced, they often feel like token gestures rather than genuine commitments. Black people are invited into the room but not given the authority to change the agenda. Promotions are slower, trust is harder to gain, and leadership is questioned in ways that white colleagues never experience. This is because white people are comfortable with blacks working for them, but not with them. They want black people in the factories, on the sports field, in entertainment, producing wealth, but not as equal partners in shaping policies, running corporations, or leading nations. Sometimes even deny them opportunities to work by not offering them employment. It goes deeper than economics. It's cultural and psychological. Stereotypes of black inferiority were taught for centuries, and those lies still shape unconscious bias today. When a black person speaks with authority, some white people see arrogance. When a black leader sets high standards, they see aggression. When a black community organizes for power, they see danger. This shows that many are not yet ready to let go the myth of superiority, not ready to dismantle privilege, not ready to face the mirror and say, I benefit from a system that keeps others down. Think about politics. In the US, every time black communities rise in influence, whether through voting power, cultural power, or economic strength, there is immediate backlash. Voter suppression, media fear-mongering, and laws designed to restrict progress. Think about global economics. African nations, Caribbean nations, rich in resources, still face unfair trade deals designed by Western powers. This is not partnership, it is exploitation dressed in contracts and diplomacy. Think about movements for justice. Black Lives Matter was not a call for superiority but for equality. Yet it was met with All Lives Matter, as if even the simple acknowledgement of black humanity was too much for some white people to handle. Now, brothers and sisters, the truth is clear. Many white people are not ready to work with black people because working with black people means confronting privilege, giving up unjust advantages, and accepting us as full equals. But readiness is not our responsibility, it is theirs. Our responsibility is to continue building, educating, uniting, and demanding space. Because whether white people are ready or not, the future demands equality, and history shows us that the oppressed do not wait forever. Thanks for watching, and kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.